I'm going to introduce a family member. I just need to explain a few things. I've been a longtime family friend of the Brooks family, and now I get to also share some love and joy with Robert Brooks Jr. Yesterday was the verdict. I know a lot of the press would like to really talk and get Robert Brooks Jr.'s thoughts on the verdict yesterday. I do want to say something about Governor Hochul's statement that came out. I'm really happy to hear her disappointed with the acquittal of 2 other officers. But in Mary Brooks' words that were shared with me, we got one. We got one. And that means a lot in a system where accountability has not been seen. In Governor Hochul's statement, she said that the administration is here to make sure that this never happens again. What happened to the Brooks family? Unfortunately, it has happened to countless. And on top of that, 87 days after the Brooks family murder, after Robert Brooks was brutally murdered, that we all saw it, Messiah Nantui's family experienced the same thing, and yet no change has happened. The legislature has put together what they could, and it is not the most transformational radical bills that there are. It is not. But they are a step in the right direction. We should not delay. We need to pass those bills now, today, before the anniversary of Robert Brooks' murder, where we should all be coming together once again to remember all the families, the Nixons, the Nantuis, the Brooks, and the countless others who are in a system with impermeable walls. I will delay no longer, and I'm going to pass it to Robert Brooks. I ask you all to respect this young man. He is an amazing young man who wants to give back and make sure that no other family, none, it's time to stop, that we have humanity in our prison systems and that our people come home not worse than what they have gone in. I'm going to let Robert speak now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Robert Brooks Jr., and I stand here today not only as a son who lost his father, but a voice for every family who has ever received that call that shatters your world and tell you that your loved one didn't make it home. In December, my family and I watched as my father got brutally beaten to death by the very person that was supposed to keep him safe. These past week, we sat through a trial of the officers responsible, forced to relive that horror, frame by frame, while a measure of justice through a guilty verdict happened, full justice was denied. Not only will nothing will ever bring my father back to me, but this isn't just about my father. I understand Messiah Nantui's family is here as well, and trust me, I feel your pain. It's all about the fathers, sons, daughters, and mothers whose name will never make the news. The ones that's lost behind those walls in silence. It's all about the families who grieve in the shadows because no one ever told them the truth, or it was simply covered up. Every time a life is taken in New York prisons, every time a death is covered up or ignored, we have to ask ourselves, how many more? How many more mothers will have to bury their children in these New York prisons? How many more videos? How many more autopsies? How many more broken hearts before the Governor Hochul signs the prison reform bill? Which doesn't go far enough, but it is a first step. We can't wait any longer. Justice delayed is justice denied. The system is broken, and it will stay that way unless leaders choose to act. Governor Hochul, we are asking you, not just for my father, but for every family who has suffered, to stand with us, to sign this bill, to take the first real steps towards a system rooted and accountability, transparency, and humanity. My father made a promise, and my family made a promise, and my grandfather made a promise. After my father's death, it would not be in vain. Standing here with the End Prison Violence campaign is our family shouting for all families, and for everyone who's still inside who deserves to live. It may not be enough, but it is the first step that can lead to real transformational changes. I invite Governor Hochul to sign this bill with no changes. And I am also happy to meet with you if you have any questions or doubt about the direction you should take. Thank you to everyone standing here, and thank you to everyone supporting our family and waiting for real change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Darcy Epeliers, Democratic candidate for mayor of Albany.
As a parent, I am very intentional about what it means to leave a legacy for my children. This is not the legacy that this son should have to bear. I want to start by thanking the organizers and the brave families, the impacted families that we stand in solidarity here with today. I stand firmly with families across our great state who are demanding justice, who deserve justice, with a system that is rooted, and we should have a system that is rooted in dignity, accountability, and real safety. That is not the system that we have today. Violence and neglect in prisons have gone unchecked for far too long, damaging lives on both sides of the bars. The well-being of our incarcerated brothers and sisters and correctional staff are deeply connected to the safety of our communities. The prison reform bill is a necessary and overdue piece of legislation. It is necessary and overdue reform. The bill focuses on humanity. Do we not know what that means? To treat other people as humans with dignity and respect. The bill focuses on independent oversight and access to programs that create real safety, not punishment for punishment's sake. This is about building a system that actually heals people, despite what they've done. And as we know, there are some who are sitting in prison who have done no wrong. And communities, healing our communities, not a system that continues a cycle of violence and harm. New York, let's get this bill signed. Let's get it signed. Let's get this bill signed.
Sign the bill! Sign the bill! Sign the bill! Sign the bill! Sign the bill!
And as a family member has said, and I quote, "We just want to make sure that they come home and not in a body bag, not more traumatized than they were when they went in. Justice is deserved to every family across this state." Thank you.
Next, I'd like to invite Assembly Member Gabriela Romero to give us a statement.
Thank you. And I first want to say what an incredible turnout. Thank you to everyone behind me that's standing 10 toes down, proud in support of incarcerated individuals in New York State. Thank you, everyone that's here in support of this omnibus bill and in support of Governor Hochul signing on this incredible package. I first want to start here from lived experience. Before I was elected to the New York State Assembly, I was a public defender for almost a decade, fighting in the courts in Albany County. And while I was a public defender, there were moments when there were incarcerated individuals that would come to me when I was representing them from the docks system, broken eye sockets. They would come to me with bruises on them, and their face or on their body, and I would say, "What happened to you?" And they would say, "I am afraid to report this out of retaliation. I do not believe in the system that exists, and I am genuinely afraid to do anything about it." There were people in the local jail system. Right now, at this very moment, there are countless people in my local jail system that are coming to me saying, "I'm afraid of what's going on." And that is not right. And that is wrong.
Not right.
And my office takes in countless calls from people not only in the state prison system, in the local jail system, even outside of my own district in the local jail system, that are afraid of what's going on within the carceral system. And the point that we're here today is to do something about that. Because this system, as people have said before, is broken. And this package of bills is not perfect. I'll admit I wanted something a little different, but we are here today because this is a positive step in the right direction. And honestly, this package of bills would do some really good work. And this package of bills would bring positivity, it would bring accountability, it would bring much needed transparency to our prison system at this very moment. And so that's why we're here, to ask Governor Hochul to work with us as a partner, to work with us and say, please pass this package of bills as written, as it exists, with no changes. Because as we admit, it's not what we wanted, but it is in its current form something that will bring positivity. So please join us in moving forward. Join us, Governor Hochul, in moving this system, this broken system, forward for people across New York State. Not just for me and the people behind me, but for Amik Nixon, for Robert Brooks, for the countless other people in the 109th Assembly District, and even in the city of Albany that have been beaten, brutalized, and have died at the hands of brutality and have not had the justice that they deserve. This bill will bring some level of accountability and transparency that's needed. I just want to end as well by saying that this is an incredible coalition, and I want to thank Rosemary and the next mayor of Albany and some other elected officials that are also behind me, because Albany is an incredible city that has a lot coming for it. And it's incredible to have this coalition here in the capital city. I'm proud to be representing it, but I'm also proud of this great group that's here. So thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce you to Ronnie Minter, formerly incarcerated individual who has firsthand knowledge of brutality that occurs regularly.
Hello, my name is Ronnie Minter. I'm the founder of Freedom Unshackled Coalition, and I'm also formerly incarcerated. I'm not gonna lie to you, today I am very angry. I have been struggling for a few days regarding all of this. I am sick and tired of having the visions in my head of the things I saw while incarcerated at Albany County Correctional Facility. I am currently in therapy because of the things I saw while in Albion Correctional Facility. Just to be standing so close to Robert Brooks' son today is just kicking up all kinds of feelings in me. Because as an advocate, our organization is receiving call after call after call from men in Albany County Correctional Facility who have been beaten brutally by the correctional officers. And if Governor Hochul is serious about what she said and being disappointed in the outcome of the court case, then she needs to sign that bill. That would be a serious measure and showing that she's disciplined. Because I'm really getting tired of politicians talking to us and talking out the side of their mouth and saying one thing and doing another, and then showing up in places when they know that they need to be somewhere pushing their colleagues to do the right thing. Because we all watched another video of Marquise Norwood from Albany County Correctional Facility, and he was one punch, one kick away from being Robert Brooks. They beat that boy uncut. They beat him for nothing. Nothing. And this goes on while Sheriff Apple and the rest of them had an enterprise of violence. But it's not just here, it's in Rikers, it's in Nassau, it's in Suffolk, it's in Erie County, it's in Albany County Jail, Albion Correctional Facility. Because please believe, the women are getting beaten just as badly as the men. They are getting dragged. I have watched those officers with those big boots kick women in the gut, in the head, and drag them on walkways. Enough is enough. We have been dealing with this for years. They just moved them from the plantation to the prison. We still have overseers. And all of this, the root of it all is racism. I am sick of them beating on black bodies. I'm over it. So you want to fight, you got to fight. Sign that damn bill.
The interesting part I will say is that this bill, honestly, we need to create a space that is really conducive towards everyone being better. We need to change hearts and minds. We are not numbers, like they gave me a number. I'm formerly incarcerated as well. I did 8 years in prison before I became the executive director of Citizen Action. I am telling you, and sorry, I'm now the senior advisor at Citizen Action, so don't get that wrong. But honestly, these kinds of bills would actually help the entire prison community. Because, and let's not get it mistaken, the officers have said plenty of times that they are the ones in peril. They went on strike to say that they were in peril. But let's not make a mistake about this. Not one of them has come home in a body bag. And then plenty of the inmates, and I'm sorry, the incarcerated have been coming home in body bags. And that absolutely needs to stop. Next up, we're going to have Jim. And then I'm going to say something, and then we're going to open it up to the press for a few questions. I hope you guys stick around to the end. Jim? Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary. As we noted before, I am on the board of the New York State Council of Churches. My particular role there is to co-chair the Committee on Criminal Justice Reform. As people of faith, we believe in redemption and restoration, not a life of exile behind bars. As people of faith, we believe even those who have committed crimes are children of God, our brothers, our sisters, our children. No one should be judged forever by the worst decision they've ever made. As people of faith, we condemn the use of violence and the torture of solitary confinement in our prisons and jails. We condemn the systemic racism in our society, our policing, and our justice system that leaves so many people of color behind bars. The senseless brutality we have all observed in the video of the murder of Robert Brooks cannot be written off as an isolated incident, a matter of a few bad apples. Robert Brooks did nothing that could possibly explain his vicious beating. He was helpless, with his hands cuffed behind his back. The pictures from those body cameras reveal that the years of rumors of random violence by corrections officers are more than just made-up stories. Messiah Nantui's murder deepens our sorrow and concern. We know that people can turn their lives around in prison. Ask any chaplain. He can give you, or she can give you, a dozen or more examples. We hear the frustration of chaplains today who often cannot even hold worship services or group discussions because there are not enough corrections officers to collect the incarcerated individuals, escort them to the meeting place, remain with them, and escort them back. Entire volunteer programs and civilian-taught classes have been put on hold indefinitely. We need to hire more guards, and we need to train them much, much better, and finish implementing all the requirements of the HALT Act to provide the services people in crisis need, services that can help end the need for drastic measures. We need to stop expecting corrections officers to work 12-hour shifts and to be unable to take planned vacations. These conditions existed long before the HALT Act was ever passed, and that act still has not been fully implemented anywhere. Since no government bureaucracy can always police itself, we need more oversight of corrections, such as provided in the Robert Brooks Prison Justice Omnibus Bill, through an expanded Commission on Corrections and greater authority given to the Corrections Association of New York. Governor Hochul must sign the Robert Brooks Bill, no amendments. Let there be no more beatings, no more deaths, no more brutality against helpless men and women. We are people of faith who believe in redemption.
Amen. So, I'm going to talk a little bit, and I'm going to keep it very real with you. We have to have these common sense bills passed. But if people understood, when I think about training officers, I'm going, you know what? It didn't take, if they had just followed their humanity, we wouldn't be in this place. Because it doesn't take training to let you know that you don't jump on somebody and beat them and kick them and choke them and do everything else that is vile. That is wrong. So where are we getting these people from that they can actually turn to do things that are actually, at the end of the day, evil? I don't know how else to put it. I don't know how else to put it. How do we bring that humanity back to people? When I was in prison, you know, I almost got written up because I'm a light-skinned Puerto Rican. They almost wrote me up for destroying state property. I was the state property. Why? Because I got a sunburn while I was in the yard. I'm state property. That is a psychological trauma. It is part of, Ronnie Minter was right, it is part of that plantation mentality that happens on a consistent basis. Now, the judicial part of this case with Robert Brooks is basically almost over. There's one more that's going to trial. It's almost over. Now it's in the hands of the governor and the legislature. Here's one of the bills. They must let the family know that their child, son, brother, cousin, whoever it is in their relation, has been killed. We have to have someone tell you that you should contact the family. Do you know how I get news about my nephew when he's in prison? Little Jojo tells his Auntie Tina, and Auntie Tina goes up and tells my auntie, and then they call us, and then we have to call the prison because the administration does not tell us that something is wrong with our children, or our brothers, or our sisters. I mean, my God, is that not common sense? We're talking about common sense legislation. But I can't believe that we actually even have to legislate that. Why in the world do you have to legislate that? You have to legislate that you can't beat a man's arms when they're sticking out? We have to literally pass laws to say this? It boggles my mind. It boggles my mind and everyone here. There's absolutely no way that, and if we're going to talk about injustice, Let's talk about this injustice with HALT. I don't know if any of you, some of you in the back of me probably know what SHU is, solitary housing unit. Okay, you have an infraction, they send you to the solitary housing unit. I've seen women doing 5-7 years. I had a woman with me who actually they put a ball and chain on her ankle to take her to the hearing. And women that have been in prison with me know exactly who I'm talking about. That is medieval. That is medieval. It should be completely unconstitutional. There have been instances that I have seen officers, I thought my eye socket was going to be crushed. I was maybe 110 pounds soaking wet when I was young and in Rikers Island. And that officer hit me for refusing to serve a dead rat that was in the beef stew to the women. Because the women started banging on the walls and they wanted their food. I wasn't giving it to them. Yo, CO, I'm not serving this. Instead, I get a punch in the face, slide all the way down, and then get put in lock. But today, what are they doing 23 hours a day? Whether or not you committed an infraction, well, I don't care if you call it key block, I don't care if you call it administrative, whatever. There is a law on the books that has been suspended by Governor Hochul. It's been suspended indefinitely. Why? We all said this was the right thing to do. Why are people only being out 1 hour a day? Why can't the chaplains, why can't they actually have their services right now? Why they're being paid by the Department of Corrections to do a job that they cannot do because they won't allow them to come? Why are all the programs deleted? Why are college programs are not available right now? At least 2 have been canceled right now. How about the fact that there was a hunger strike at Mid-State Correctional Facility? The godmother, who was the Republican mayor, told me, and I quote, she told me just like this. She said, if they're going to torture and abuse him, they might as well have executed him. He's doing 87 years in prison. I don't think maybe he should come home. Now, mind you, I'm not in agreement on everything she said, but I get the idea. What she's saying is we get sentenced to time. That is painful enough and allows us to reflect on the things that we have done. I happen to be guilty of my crimes. I did that stuff. But when I went into the prison system, I had to gauge what kind of life I wanted. I had to have the ability to redeem myself, to actually go after redemption. But if I am kicked, beaten, abused, raped, let's not forget that there are over 1,200 cases from Avion Correction Facility alone around women being absolutely abused.
You're right.
I want to tell you, it happens. I have seen it happen. I have seen my friend Savage walk with me through the Sally Port in the prison, tells me she is sick, and she looks like a little boy, and the response is, I got something for her that won't cure her, if you know what I'm saying. The next day, that young lady was dead. Dead. And that happened years ago. Years ago. That means this has been continuing, and it is worse today. It is worse because there is no accountability. We need a bill. We need to move accountability to an independent state. It's like the police actually policing themselves. It's not going to work. We need an independent body. And when my friend Robert Ricks, the father of Robert Brooks, called me, there was nothing else I could do. But it compelled me, and I'm so grateful for you and your family. And my heart goes out to you so much. It really does. You know, and Robert is my dear friend. And I am telling you, whether it's Messiah Nightweek, whether it's this young man who is an amazing young man, amazing. Amazing. He's working, he's doing the right thing. He has his own child. He has his own child. He ain't out there on them streets. They didn't raise the family like this. His father, his granddad works with the students constantly. My grandkids went to my grandkids were in his father's program. There's no way that this should happen. I want to thank you all. Please tell Kathy Hochul, sign this bill, but remember, we ain't leaving because it's not enough. It's not enough to just say we're going to call the families when their child is dead. It's not enough to say we're going to do a study. It's not enough. Sign these common sense bills so we can get to the real deal.
That's right.
We would take some questions if any need to be taken at this point. If any press have any questions? Seeing no questions, I'm going to tell all of you, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you so much for supporting this family. Albany showed up for the Brooks family.
That's right.
They're going to show up for the Nazi family.